Welcome to WeLearn, Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 3, Business Process and Performance Management Framework. Topics which we are going to cover in this session are Introduction, focusing on team performance and the motivation. So coming towards the first topic, that is Introduction. The Performance Management Framework is a group of performance-related processes and methodologies sequenced and integrated to effective rise organizational awareness of performance management. A good performance management system helps organization achieve their aims and objectives. The two important business processes that help in process performance management are focusing on team performance and motivation. The focus on team is very important because on a wider perspective, the entire organization is nothing but a big team trying to achieve a common goal, that is profit for the organization. Motivation is another important factor for organizational success. The employees are the biggest asset of an organization. Motivation helps to make employees work to their full potential, which in turn leads to individual as well as organizational growth. Manager should understand the process of motivation and use them effectively. Next is the focusing on team performance. A team consists of two or more individuals. These individuals have specific role assignment. They must perform specific tasks and must interact or coordinate to achieve a common goal or outcome. In addition, teams make decisions, have specialized knowledge and skills, and often work under conditions of high workload. Teams can be distinguished from small work groups on the basis of the fact that teams have unique requirements for coordination and task interdependency. Teamwork normally involves team members adjusting to each other either sequentially or simultaneously in order to achieve team goals. Next is the need for shift. In the past, the focus was on performance management of individual. But today, organizations have realized that results are achieved by team efforts, although individuals are also important. Individual focused performance systems will only propagate divisiveness and may even hamper teamwork. The various sources of pressure are differentiated pay packets, need for competent managers, willingness of some organization to pay any amount for competent individuals, enhanced salary structure forcing every organization to compute return on investment on each employee or value addition of each employee. With all these influences, it is undesirable that the corporate sector continues to focus on individual performance. The following realities indicate the need for reinforcing performance management on group or team and performance in addition to individual performance. Strategic thinking, employee motivation, leadership, development, and team management competencies are critical at higher organizational level and make a lot of difference. The performance management indicators are most often team performance based rather than individual performance. It becomes very difficult to quantify the measures the performance of individual senior manager. Since performance indicators are qualitative and cannot be reduced to numbers, the measuring instrument fail to measure performance of managers. Managers often blame the team for poor performance. They say that they have done their best as individual, but the team has not performed at its best. Organizations have to develop team chemistry and leadership has to help make it work. Team chemistry could be managed better if team performance is focused. Combined performance and overall outcomes are likely to be better if the focus is on the team rather than on the individual. Measuring team performance is easier and is more objective than measuring the individual performance at higher levels. Focusing on team performance allows tackling many dimensions simultaneously as compared to individual performance. Team performance is always closer to organizational performance rather than individual performance. Top level performance can be measured mainly in terms of team performance. Now let us analyze what are the different types of team in an organization. A team performance depends on the type of bonding that exists between the team members. So now let us discuss what are the various types of team. First one is the working group. These groups do not have any considerable incremental performance needs that would develop the opportunity of turning these groups into a productive and efficient team. The members of such teams interact only to share information, to discuss practices, and to make decisions to help each individual perform effectively in their area of responsibility. It is just a small group that works together for getting the work done. Next are the pseudo teams. In this type of teams, although there is a considerable incremental performance needs and opportunity, there is no focus on collective performance. The team does not have a common interest in a purpose or set of performance goals, though key work in a group. In terms of performance impact, pseudo teams are the weakest of all groups. Potential teams. In this type of teams, there is a considerable incremental performance needs and the team members try hard to improve their performance impact. However, clarity of goals, purpose and working approach is missing. Here, the team approach starts making sense and performance impact becomes high. The most worthwhile performance gain comes in between stages of potential teams and the real teams. Real teams. These are small teams of people committed to a common purpose or goal and work approach. The team members have complementary skills for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. High performance team. The members of such a team are deeply committed to one another's personal growth and success. This commitment is the soul of the group. Such a team usually outperform all other teams. Building team performance. There is no guarantee technique for building team performance. Yet, there are a variety of common approaches that can help potential teams take the necessary risk to grow in the performance. To build up high performance, the following of certain guidelines come in handy. Establishing purpose and sense of direction. All team members must believe that there is a worthwhile purpose of the existence of the team. The performance expectation of team members have to make clear. Team members should be selected based on their skills. While selecting a team, a good team is the one which has team members possessing complementary skills. For effective performance, a mix of technical and functional skill problem solving skills, and interpersonal skills are necessary. A right set of people is needed at the right place and at the right time. This is the basic motto of the management. More consideration has to be given to initial meetings and actions. Initial impression goes a long way. When the likely teams gather around for the first time, members alternatively monitor and signals given by others to confirm or dismiss assumptions and concerns. Creating a code of conduct. All real team develop rules of conduct to help them achieve their purpose and performance goals. Rules are necessary for focus, commitment, trust, and openness. The most crucial rules may be relevant to attendance, confidentially contributions, constructive confrontation, and end product orientation. Developing team spirit. Many teams organize urgent small tasks and performance oriented events that bring them together. Potential teams can set such event in motivation by immediately establishing a few challenges, yet achievable goals that can be reached early on. Motivation through challenges. New challenges cause a potential team to redefine and enrich its understanding of performance. They also help the team set clearer goals, shape a common purpose, and improve on its common approach. Spending time together. Teams must spend a lot of time together, particularly at the beginning. This time spent together can be scheduled or unscheduled. Innovative insight develop when personal bonding takes place. Now, managing team performance. Identifying where the team is performing well and where it needs further development is the first step in managing team performance. The Team Performance Report Survey and associated analysis gives team member an objective assessment of how the team is doing. It provides an opportunity to compare the various viewpoints of team members and outsiders and relate them to the team vision and purpose. Bruce Tuckman's team state model represented the four stages of teamwork. The four stages of this model are: first is forming. The first step in team building is to form a team. In the initial stage, the individual's behavior is driven by the desires to be accepted by others and to avoid controversy or conflict. Everybody is busy in finding their place in the team and asking themselves why they are here. The team meets and learn about the opportunity and challenges and then agree on goal and begins to tackle the task. Team members tend to behave quite independently. This stage is very important because in this stage, the members of the team get to know each other, exchange personal information, and make new friends. The second stage is storming. People begin to see themselves as a part of the team. The team addresses issues such as what problem they are really supposed to solve, how they will function independently and together, and what leadership model will they accept. Team members open up to each other and confront each other's idea and perspective. The storming stage is necessary to the growth of the team. It can be controversial, unpleasant, and even painful to members of the team who are unwilling to conflict. Tolerance of each team member and their differences needs to be emphasized. Without tolerance, the patience, the team will fail. Now, the third stage is norming. This is the phase where team members get together by establishing the basic rules, developing processes, clarifying roles and responsibility. Some team members may have to give up their own ideas and agree with others in order to make the team work. In this stage, all the team members take the responsibility and have the ambition to work for the success of the goals of the team. And the last stage is performing. This is the final stage where increased focus is on both the task and the team relationship. The teams are able to function as a unit as they find ways to get the job done smoothly and effectively without inappropriate conflict or a need for potential supervision. Team members have become interdependent. By this time, they are motivated and knowledgeable. The team members are now competent, autonomous, and able to handle the decision making process without supervision. Performance is delivered through people working effectively together. Next topic is motivation. Motivation is derived from the word motive, which means to arouse the action, urge within the person that leads them to action. Motivation of personnel is the desire to secure and maintain optimum performance from the employee regardless of where they are placed in the managerial hierarchy. Well motivated people are those with clarity defined goals and who take such kind of actions that they expect will achieve those goals. They make effective contribution at work because of strongly developed feelings of behavioral commitment. Next is the definition of motivation. Motivation is defined by goal directed behavior. Motivation is concerned with the strength and direction of that behavior. It implies that motivation takes place when people accept that a course of action is likely to lead the attainment of the goal and a value rewarded, one which satisfies their particular needs. Motivated people acknowledge that their efforts are required for both the needs of the organization and their own interest. Next is the process of motivation. Motivation is initiated by consciously and unconsciously recognizing unsatisfied needs. The needs in turn create wants which are desired to achieve goods or obtain something. Goals are then established which will satisfy these needs and want, and a behavior trial is selected which is expected to facilitate the achievement of the goal. If the goal is achieved, the need will be satisfied and the behavior is likely to be repeated the next time a similar need arises. If the goal is not achieved, the same action is likely to be repeated. This model describes how individual motivation processes takes place. It is based on the motivational theory related to the needs, that is achievement, goals, equity, behavior, modeling and expectancy. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. The two ways by which motivation can take place at work are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is The type of motivation in which people can manage themselves about their needs, their desires, their caring, and everything. Extrinsic motivation. Measurement can motivate people through methods of ways like pay, promotion, residence, recognition, praise, etc. Motivation related to attitude. Attitude is another factor. Attitudes are feeling derived from relationship between perceived outcome and individual values and needs. Motivation is a term that can be applied to the complete class of drivers, wishes, desires, need, and similar forces. Subordinates are motivated by the manager. Satisfaction is the outcome already experienced if refer to the content experimented when a person is satisfied, that is understanding. Understanding the worth of the goal motivate people to do things to reach the goal. Attitude can be considered both as a permanent nature of a person and the reaction to the setback. It can be a stepping stone to success for the positive thinker, whereas for a negative thinker, it can be the stumbling block. The primary factors that determine our attitude are environment, experience, and education. In a positive environment, the output of a managerial performer goes up, while in a negative environment, the output of the good performer goes down. Our behavior changes with respect to our experience with the people and event in our life. If we have a positive experience with a person, or attitude towards that person becomes positive, and if we have a negative experience, we will give you attitude towards the person becoming negative. Next is the need for plan of action. Apart from motivation and a positive attitude, an action plan is essential to achieve result. Therefore, making an action plan, we need to decide as to what we want to achieve and how we expect the plan to achieve it. Lack of desire, direction, dedication and discipline is the reason that lead to the failure of achievement objective. Douglas McDonald Theory X and Theory Y. In the book The Human Side of Enterprise, Douglas McDonald states that employee of an organization can be measured in two different ways. The first is called category X, basically negative, and the Y is basically for positive. Under the assumption of theory X, employees inherently do not like work and whether possibly will adapt to it because employees dislike work. They have to be focused for threatened with punishment to achieve the goals. Employees avoid responsibility and do not work till the age of 24. Most workers place a greater importance on security over all other factors and display little ambition. Employees inherently do not like work and whether possible will attempt to avoid it. Because employees dislike work, they have to be focused on threatened without publishment to achieve goals. Employee avoid responsibility to do the work formality, directions are issued. Most workers place a greater importance to security over all other factors and display like actions. In contrast, under the assumption of theory Y, physical and mental effort at work is as neutral as rest or play. People do exercise self control and self direction. If they are committed to these goals, average human beings are willing to take at least walk. Looking at the way things are organized, the arranged human being has brought is only partly. The link between motivation and performance. The motivation, most obvious intrinsic reward, and the most obvious extrinsic reward for good performance would be money in the form of pay or some other sort of remuneration. People on fixed salary or rate of pay who do not benefit directly from an incentive scheme may feel good when they get an increase. Apart from the extra money, it is highly tangible from form of recognition and effective means of helping people to feel that they are valued. There is a strong link between an employee performance, pay, and motivation. Employees who are less confident may not respond to financial incentives, which they do not expect to achieve. Extrinsic reward may wear down intrinsic interest. On the other hand, people who work just for money could find their task less pleasurable and may not do them so well. A number of factors are involved in performance improvement and many of these are independent. Money can therefore provide promotion, provide positive motivation in the right circumstances. It also develop behavioral commitment and an organization climate which will develop behavior commitment and an organization climate which will promote motivation and improve managerial skills. Now in the last there are a few questions which are based on this session. First is the discuss the process of being the team performer. Number 2, explain the process of motivation. And the last is discuss Vogler, McGeorge and theory X and theory Y. That's all for this session. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.